A new day, a new project, and we have something to dismantle. It's nothing to fix today, but just dismantle and take a look inside. Well, I'm talking about one of these car amplifiers. I never used anything like that, and a friend of mine just gave me one of these, and I'm trying to understand how these car amplifiers are working. And this is a Power Acoustik USA HMR280. I read some things about it's like 2 times 70 watts on 4 ohms in stereo mode, and on bridge you can go down to 2 ohms, and then you gain around 280 watts of audio power. So this is very clear, the audio inputs. We got a, let's call it general volume. And here we have a couple of filters. Let's start with the bass boost. This is very clear, on, off, nothing else. For filtering, then we have a full range. Then in the middle we have a low crossover, so low pass band, shall I call it. And we can adjust the frequency for the low pass filter from 50 Hz to 150 Hz. With this knob here, with this one. And if we go like this, then you can use the amplifier just for medium and high frequencies. And also we have an adjustment from 125 Hz to 2000 Hz. But full range, these two will work almost like the old Baxendale tone correction, bass and treble. Protection, the red one, and power, of course. Nothing else, no switch, nothing. It's supposed to be switched on when you turn on the car or the ignition. And here we have the battery connector, a 50 amps fuse, and here are the outputs. If you have the loudspeakers on the extreme, then it's bridged, and we have that maximum 280 watts of power, but it can be used stereo, left and right outputs on different, for different channels. Okay, so let's take this out and have a glimpse inside. What I'm curious about is if we have any DC to DC converter, because somehow it's pretty interesting how you can gain this level of power at 12 volts input. All I can say that it's pristine. I can't see anything, no works, no repairs, nothing. So this one, even if it's really old, I think it's like 15 years or something, it's in a very good shape. Oh, this is strange over here, but I think it's from the factory like that. Capacitor, I'm not sure what is this about. This looks like a DC to DC converter. I think this is the power amplifier, and we have a circuit over here. This is key IA494P, and this is a pulse width modulation. Do we have a boost converter, in fact, to have a higher voltage MOSFETs? But for now, just let me take a look under that bridge here. So this is kind of interesting. I don't think this is a Class D amplifier. This looks more like a AB class. Well, I'm pretty sure this is a boost converter. We have 2 capacitors here, 2200 microfarads to 35 volts. We have a pulse width modulation. I'm thinking that this one's, getting a higher voltage. And this over here is a Class A, B amplifier, pretty classic bass output. So what we got there, this is a D998 and B778. Okay, as long as I'm here, let me have some new thermic paste. Doesn't hurt. And I'll do the same with the other transistors. We'll take a look to see what kind of transistors those are. Okay, we are good. Same story here, B778, D998. Okay, let's have some fresh thermal paste. Next step, I have some power in. So I have a 12 volt power supply. Well, I'm just testing these things now, so I don't need too much strong wires or something. I don't want to test for the power. Well, I'm going later in my workshop and connect this to the real 12-volt batteries for proper DC in. I'm only curious to see if we have a boost converter, as I believe it should be. Of course, I'll use no output for now, and let's power on. Yes, we got the green light, so that's the way it's worked. Now we can check for some values of voltages. Okay, so turns finally, the case it's tied to the ground. So let's see over here. 1.5, 7047, 1952. So it's exactly what I was thinking about. We have a boost converter here, a middle connection in the coil, and let's see. Here we should have the 1952 minus 1748. They're not exactly equal. It should be, but anyway, that's the story. So we have a very clear boost converter which is going up to 19 volts and 17 here. I wonder why are not the same. Maybe the capacitor, I think this should be checked. 37.1 volts. So it's exactly what I was thinking about. So we have a boost converter raising the voltage, and then a very nice class AB amplifier with transistors. The board is out. Yes, that's right. We have these two diodes here, and this is a very easy to understand boost converter. We have two MOSFETs here. We have to check this electrolytics here. Oh, this is really good construction, I may say. This is glued, and that's a very good idea to do that, because this is a car amplifier, so it have to be steady. And no, this one is looking very well. Okay, so the capacitors are back in place. It proves that the capacitor, they've been good, you know. It was my mistake here, but anyway, let's check the voltages now. So we should have two really nice and equal voltages. This is common here, 1840-53 and 1855. Perfect. So I don't know why, if we take it the other way, let me see, this is the common or the ground, it is. If we check here, we have 1854 and the other one 1855, 54, 55. Perfect. This is what I need. Two nice voltages. But it's time to have all this back in the box. What can I say? It's really interesting to understand how this is working. So it's not a class D amplifier, not at all. It's a very classic AB power amplifier with its differential voltage supplied by a boost converter, and that gives 2 times 18 volts. That's the explanation why you can reach this level of powers with such a low voltages, with 12 volts voltages. In fact, that's the explanation. Okay, the screws back. Okay, so that's the final for today, the part 1. I'm gonna have part 2 very soon with some power testing and all the other stuff what I found until now. And this is really interesting, and we have to talk about this because there is plenty of other things to do with this kind of amplifiers. Okay, so we got something like this. We have 12 volts from the battery, plus and minus, going into a boost converter, plus minus. From here we have the ground, and we have two lines, 18.5 plus, of course, and minus 18 point. We got like 36, 37 volts. And from here we have a classic AB amplifier, plus, minus, and ground. Input 1, 2, and ground, of course, and loudspeakers left, right, or bridge. What's interesting, the amplifier can be used with a good power supply, plus minus, and it can be used for some other purposes in the house. What I want to do, in fact, is to have it in bridge and to power a 15-inch subwoofer, but I don't want to use this in a car. I want to use it for a stage, you know. Sometimes I have small gigs, just me and the guitar, and I feel like I need more bass, and I don't want to buy one. I have all of this. We have to use what we have around the house. Rule number 1, don't waste your money. So it's very simple to do this. I'll try to have a power supply better, but I'm gonna use this one for now. It can deliver 15 amps, so I think it should be more than enough for the beginning. Okay, what else? The boost converter. This is interesting. 12 volts. If we take it the other way, we have plus and minus 37 volts. I can use that for something else. As long as the power amplifier can deliver 280 watts on 2 ohms. That means let's do a simple mathematics. We got the amps, we got the voltage. So what I need here is the amps, the power, the current. I'm sorry. So we have 218 watts divided by 37 volts, and that gives 7.65 amps. That gives me the possibility to use my 12 volts battery. I have a bank like maybe 200 amps, and that means like maybe 2000 watts, 2.5 kilowatts or something, to supply on-grid inverter with limiter I'm using now to supply that for the night, and that will deliver. Okay, my inverter, my solar inverter, needs the input here from panels should be from around 32 volts to maximum 65 volts. So if I'm coming with 37 volts here and 7.5 amps, I'm gonna have around 200 watts, 250 watts for the night, and this is really nice. So I'll use the boost converter here for having that on-grid inverter working for the night. Okay, so this is part 1. I'll be back soon with part 2 about power and testing loudspeakers and so on. I hope it's useful. Please like and subscribe, and rule number 1, don't forget to have fun. See you soon. Bye bye.